Great step forward as a team, and equally as challenging, if not more, and I think more successful in a lot of ways. We, I think, competed even more so against probably, well, maybe with the exception of Concordia, but like these teams, the 4 teams we played were all very, very good, as we've been talking about, and we really took it to Southern New Hampshire in a way that we felt like things were really clicking out there. That's a reigning regional champ out of their region, and the 3 other teams were, I mean, there's 3 top 10 teams, no doubt, and we were toe to toe with each of them for large periods of time, and they do what they do, and they pulled ahead in ways that you might expect from a team of that caliber and where we are youth-wise. But first set against St. Cloud, we did exactly what we wanted to do. Late in the set, very close, pulled ahead, won 26, 24, 25, 23 in a way that wasn't, we made very few errors. They made very few errors. We earned that set win against a team that has probably the best scorer in the country. Duluth on their home court hadn't lost at home since 16 to a non-conference team, and we had set point twice in 2 of the three sets, and then they pulled ahead. That team got beat silly by Central Washington, the next team, who went undefeated over the tournament. And that first set, we were again tied at 23, and then they've kind of pulled ahead in a way that you might expect. So I think we won the ones we should have, and we learned a lot about ourselves in the other ones. And our team is getting better for it, not just playing in those games, but watching the other ones too. With our young group, we're coming along just fine. I've said it to her many times in front of the group and to the group and to anyone who listened and hear it now. Watching Lindy play the way she has so far this season has been a real reward and a real treat for our team and personally as a coach, and most importantly for herself and her team. Lindy's stepping up in big ways. I mean, she is hitting the heck out of the ball. And when a team shuts her down, let's say on a swing, she does not back down, and she takes the right swing the next time. She's added some touch into her game that has really been beneficial, but to see her just keep going, I mean, she's taking a huge number of swings for us so far, and has really stepped up into that role and probably our main attacker. But to see her roll out there this year, anyone who's been on the team with her so far over time is really enjoying it for sure. Yeah, well, the position itself dictates that, she's going to have, the L1 or the outside one, the way the rotations work, she's going to get a heavy load. Like just the volume of sets to that position is very high. And so it requires that player to accept that challenge and that burden, if you want to call it that. Like there's going to be a lot of swings, and she's taking them. And that's not an easy position because a lot of those sets aren't in system. Like it's out of system, it's a scramble play, bigger block, 2 blocks the whole time, and it just requires a kind of a higher risk, higher reward type mentality going into it. And to see her do that for the team, for her to do that for the team is important, is vital. But for our players to see her respond in moments or take the big cuts when she is really good for our team. And she had the set winning point out of the back row against St. Cloud in that first set win. She doesn't go in the back row. We got tight on subs. She got the ball out of system, perfect shot to 5, stuff like that. It goes so far when your leader and just one of the most liked players on your team is playing that way. If you look at the game scores so far this year against these top 10 teams, we've been in the 20s like a lot, and even in that Winona game, like we've been right there knocking on the door with the other team. Whether it's we've earned that position or there's been some kind of combination of a couple of things, but we've been there. But we were committed to going into the St. Cloud match. If it happens again, let's close. And that first set we did it, and it was like, it was really important for our team. We are getting more confident every single time we play. We go to that next match against Southern New Hampshire, and it's the morning match. We wake up like it is the morning. We don't start well, and we have a timeout. We reset, and not right away, but we get into it, and then there was a moment where we just clicked, and we all saw it happen. Now, I don't think that team is the same necessarily as the other teams we've been playing, but a good team nonetheless. And the second set, we were 100% side out percentage. We hit 500, 16 kills, no errors, and our defense was, in flow and in rhythm, an area that we've been struggling on a little bit. So it was good to have that moment built into all these other times when, as much as we're happy with the way we're playing, we'd like to win some of these games. So it was a good moment for us, and the confidence, as you pointed out, is it's genuinely building every time we play. I think that we are a top 3 team. I think we're in the cluster there. And I think that we've turned some heads early on with this lineup and players that we're rolling with here. Anyone who's watched us play, I think, sees that. Ferris State is the reigning champ. They're going to do what they do every year. The team we start off with, though, here with Grand Valley is going to be good. They're physical as ever. They are, in my view, I've been saying this since the summertime, if not earlier, this is the year they put some of that talent together. They have a collection of Division I transfers, both new and in returning for the second year. Whereas last year they were talented, we split with them, but they were trying to figure it out. I think they put it together this year with some real good players, a very fine coach, and the resources to make it happen. So we know that those 2 teams are going to be, I think, the biggest challenge, the top 2 teams in our league, and I think we're right there. I think we're right there, and I know compared to what was going on, I think we're right there. We got to stay healthy. It's early on. There's a aspect of the length and longevity of the season and the distances we travel for our young players that haven't experienced that yet, and we'll have to manage that as a team. But we're going into GLIAC play very confident, and it's ironic that we played Grand Valley first after the 2 weekends of teams we just played, because I think they're right up there with some of those teams. You're right. The physicality of Grand Valley will be less of a shock for a young player like Rachel, having played against some of these teams, and it's that. I think that's the case for our whole team. And I should say too, Grand Valley's a very good team, but they're beatable like any of us are, and I think that we've proven that over the last however many years. I mean, we've been competing with them, year in, year out, including last season. But you're right. I think that for some of our younger players going into this match, or again, whether it's the Ferris and Grand Valleys of our league, or anyone else, maybe not at that pedigree or caliber, what we've done these last 2 weekends is going to make us better in those competitions. We're both confident, but we're confident knowing that we've been able to score at a certain rate against teams like Grand Valley. I think our middles give us an advantage against anyone. If you look at how we've been playing these last 2 weekends, Casey and Rachel are a difference maker. If we're doing things right in the other areas of the game, those 2 in the middle are maybe the ones that can separate us from other good teams. Anytime your middles are producing, it produces space and opportunity for your outsides. Between, Tess, Amelia, Rachel, and Trisha are our main freshmen. And Kate Locke, I got to talk about that for a second. She had her first college debut against St. Cloud and had 16 kills and hit 450. And then the next one against Southern New Hampshire has a similar game. Now, Central Washington got away from her a little bit, and well, it did from all of us in sets 2 and 3, but she was doing great. We've had a series of freshmen here that have just been fun to coach. They're listening, they're engaged, and I add this, our senior leadership, our leadership team, particularly Casey, Lindy, and Elena, are the perfect people for this team right now. They're just the perfect mix of leadership for a young team that is doing what they're doing, and because those 3 are contributing big time on the court and in their own right, stepping up into a role that is new for them too. It's been a lot of fun these last 2 weekends, and the youthfulness, or I guess the youth of the team, is a little added. It makes it a little bit more fun. 2-0. I mean, we want to win the GLIAC championship every year. We've been fortunate enough to put together some seasons where we've come out of the regular season on top, and we've had at least an outright or a share of that title twice since I've been here. We've been in the final match a handful of times and not finished there. And so I think for me personally as the leader of the program, and I know for our team, to win that tournament is a goal every year, of course, but this, we really want it. So it's a week-by-week process, though, and we know that everything that we do every week is going to dictate these things, and just keep going forward, keep getting better, more confident, but ultimately winning these games is what we're in for. Home game, any way you shake it, Advantage Tech, and we hope that people come out and watch us play and are there to support us, which they have been. It's been great. And with the band behind us, I like our chances.